if you're going to cut that much money, you're going to the Pentagon and you're going to Social Security and Medicare. And those are things, at least in terms of the entitlements, that Donald Trump, right, you like those programs. Yeah. I love having an audience.
Here's Fox News host Jessica Tarlov educating Trump supporters and her fellow Fox News analysts that Trump is going to cut Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid. Other Republican politicians have already admitted to this, that they want to cut Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid. Watch this clip.
They could cut. John Thune, who is the Senate incoming Republican leader, who also met with Elon Musk this morning, told me that perhaps mandatory programs are areas that they're looking to make cuts in, like Social Security, for example.
Nothing is sacrosanct. Nothing. They're going to put everything on the table.
That's what they told lawmakers. Everything is on the table, and that includes Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid.
That was Republican Congressman Ralph Norman from South Carolina talking about cutting Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid. He said nothing is off the table. Now watch this clip of Donald Trump saying that all entitlements are on the table. Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, food stamps are all considered entitlements.
One last question.
Go ahead.
Entitlements ever be on your plate?
At some point they will be. We have tremendous growth. We're going to have tremendous growth this next year. It'll be toward the end of the year. The growth is going to be incredible. And at the right time, we will take a look at that. You know, that's actually the easiest of all things, if you look.
Wow. Who knew that Donald Trump would say that Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, and food stamps would be the easiest thing to cut? I guess because those are the things that would be cut for the poor. That's who mainly uses Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid, because the rich don't need that. That's what the poor need to survive in this country. A lot of retirees need Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid just to live. If they don't get their Social Security, they can't pay their rent or their housing bills or for their food. If they don't get Medicare or Medicaid, they don't get any health care. Who would have thought that Donald Trump would say that's the easiest thing to cut?
If you don't cut something in entitlements, you'll never really deal with the debt.
We'll be cutting, but we're also going to have growth like you've never had before.
If you're going to cut that much money, you're going to the Pentagon and you're going to Social Security and Medicare. And those are things, at least in terms of the entitlements, that Donald Trump, right, you like those programs. Yeah. I love having an audience.
They could cut. John Thune, who is the Senate incoming Republican leader, who also met with Elon Musk this morning, told me that perhaps mandatory programs are areas that they're looking to make cuts in.
This group set up to kind of look at cutting the federal government with Elon Musk, Vivek Ramaswamy. It's not a part of the administration. It's kind of separate, but very close to. But a lot of what they do, one would think, would have to go through Congress. Is the Senate ready to really dismantle the federal bureaucracy like they're talking about?
Well, I think this is long overdue, honestly. And frankly, I'm excited.
Republican Senator John Thune is excited to cut Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid. Do these people have no shame?
Ramaswamy has said he was asked about Social Security and he would not commit to cuts, instead saying that they would eliminate waste, fraud, and abuse. I think those are some of the things you have in mind when you're talking about efficiencies. But when you look at studies of the amount that would save if it's actually excised, it's puny. I mean, that is not anywhere close to the number that they're talking about with DOGE. Don't you have to cut Social Security to hit that number?
You absolutely do not have to cut Social Security to hit that number. As a matter of fact, Medicare and Medicaid is where we should be looking at trying to find efficiencies. Healthcare costs have skyrocketed, particularly after Obamacare was implemented, and there are opportunities for us to try to find ways to rein in that spending on the healthcare side. I also think that there is discretionary spending that we should be looking at. That we can tackle, but I don't think Social Security is something that's even being discussed by House Republicans.
Well, it is by one, actually, your colleague. Let's listen to Congressman Rich McCormick.
The problem with the Democrats is they've never run out of things that they can give away for free, quote unquote. When you talk about $1 trillion in debt payment just on interest alone every year. We can't just talk about the military, though. And the military can do some things better. We can save some money just on the way contract. We can be careful that we don't decrease our abilities because China is right on our heels. However, if you talk about 75% of the budget, 75% is non-discretionary. We're going to have some hard decisions. We got to bring the Democrats in and talk about Social Security, Medicaid, Medicare. There's hundreds of billions of dollars to be saved, and we know how to do it. We just have to have the stomach to actually take those challenges on.
That's Republican Congressman Richard McCormick from Georgia saying that they just have to have the stomach to cut hundreds of billions of dollars from Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid. Yeah, I don't know how you have the stomach to do that. How do you have the stomach to cut Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid from hardworking Americans who earned that, who invested that money? Hundreds of billions of dollars he wants to take away. These people paid their taxes. They paid Social Security. They paid for Medicare and Medicaid. It was taken out of their paycheck. That's why they're getting it now that they're older and retired. Because they paid for it. They earned it. And he just wants to take it away. He wants to take hundreds of billions of dollars away from hardworking Americans who invested that money.
I mean, this is something that is being discussed by people who are saying the quiet part out loud.
He actually didn't say cuts, but there are reforms that can be done to Social Security to actually shore it up. Look, the reality is, if we don't do something in the next 8 years or so, Social Security will become insolvent. So we have to do something to protect Social Security now and into the future.
Your outlook on how to handle entitlements, Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, Mr. President, it seems like something has to be done, or else we're going to be stuck at 120% of debt to GDP forever.
So first of all, there is a lot you can do in terms of entitlements, in terms of cutting.
Even Fox News admits themselves that most Americans don't want cuts on Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid. One of their polls says 71% of Americans don't want these cuts. Another poll says 75% of adults don't want these cuts. So why don't you listen to the American people? They don't want these cuts because these programs help the American people. These cuts will only hurt the American people and hurt the American economy.